Hey guys, what's up? This is the Spoon Dude. Here with another video, but this one's a little bit different than the kinds of videos I post on my channel, which are stop motions. Didn't really have any time to make some new ones, so I decided I might make a new kind of video showcasing my custom figures. And to start, right here, we're gonna show you my custom Doctor Octopus. Now, this figure, getting into it, was made with a DC Universe Movie Masters Scarecrow body. Just a suited body, and I used some rubber wires for the tentacles. I'll go into a little bit more in depth. I did a nice classic Doc Ock, which I wanted to have for a while. Hasbro hasn't come out with a new one ever. The base figure stands at shorter than 6 inches, and each tentacle is less than a foot, maybe 11 inches, right there. Originally, I wanted to have a Spectacular Spider-Man kind of inspired one with the trench coat and different kind of goggles and the slick back hair. I used a rubber suit piece as the start of a trench coat. But that ended up not working out. I didn't think, because the body's already kind of scrawny. The way I installed the tentacles, it would have been hard to get a trench coat to work. So I decided to just go bright classic colors Doc Ock with, the yellow, green, and whatnot. Alright, so the body, like I said, Scarecrow. I removed the ab crunch because obviously that point of articulation wouldn't work with all the tentacles. So I basically glued the ab crunch, drilled in the holes. Well, not drilled in. I used just an X-Acto knife, craft knife, to make holes for these to fit. Luckily, the back was pretty hollow, but I had to really dig in on the sides, and I had to re-sculpt the torso entirely, as you can see. Give him some weight, his tummy and whatnot. I sculpted the belt on there a little bit sloppily, but it's there. I got the kind of chest there, and then sides. Really added to his width. A lot of this is sculpt, because obviously Doc Ock is supposed to be sort of kind of short and fat. So that's to play with that. On the back as well, you can see, just move the tentacle out of the way, I got the belly. For the legs, I pretty much left them alone, just sculpted over the shoes just to make them kind of smooth boots. For the arms, I re-sculpted this point forward so he has the gloves. The hand, this one is from a Iron Man 2 War Machine, and I just sculpted over all the armor parts. Just extra fodder I had, didn't really need it for that figure. And then this one's from a Marvel Now Captain America. You can see it's got the red still, but that's just a nice fist hand. And I didn't have to modify them too much. I had to use a little bit of glue to get this one. But, shoulders, I re-sculpted them a little bit, just made them a little bit bigger. And obviously I sculpted the collar piece. For the head, I used a Marvel Legends Daredevil Matt Murdock alternate head from the Walgreens 2-pack. I already customized that Daredevil, and I didn't really feel I needed this head. I thought it worked pretty decently for Doc Ock, since he already had sunglasses. But obviously I decided to sculpt some more, so for the hair, I basically had to flatten like his head, because his hair was really tall. So I gave him the bowl cut, of course, and I think that came up pretty good. And I had to re-sculpt his chin as well, so it's a little bit more of a wider face, you can see there. Yeah, tried to give him a bit of a double chin, if you can kind of see. Alright, so for paint, I, like I said, went for classic colors. We'll start with the head again. Use just the flesh tone, just basic acrylic paint for everything, by the way. Just a flesh tone. Did several coats of that, of course. Painted the sunglasses blue with gray outline for the actual glasses and blue for the lens. So I think that came out pretty good. I painted the lips, and the hair is just brown. Body, just base coated a dark green, and then just did several layers of a regular green on top to sort of give him some depth and highlights. Through the sculpt, all the yellow parts are just a basic sort of yellow, and there's some parts of like paint rub, but it's pretty good. Though I did a decent job sanding, so like the elbows don't have too much paint rub, or the knees. So for the tentacles, I use just wires that you can get like at your Home Depot. A lot of people like to use a USB sort of light things, which I used for a scorpion figure. But they're all $10 each, and I didn't want to spend $40 on this custom. So I just used these wires, which worked out pretty well. They have a nice thickness, and they're fully posable. Right, so that's pretty cool. But it did make a problem of painting it. At least I thought it would, but as it turns out, if you just get some sandpaper and just apply it to the wire, it makes it really makes the surface quite rough, so it can hold on to paint really well. You can see here, I'm bending it, and there's no paint rub or paint cracking. So I think that's pretty cool. Now for the ends of the tentacles, obviously, I had to do something. So what I ended up doing was just cutting a bunch of rubber pieces from my fodder, I think from a Doctor Strange cape, if I'm not mistaken. And they're nice and pliable as a result, because they're all that rubber. And I just glued them and then used some sculpt to kind of smooth it out. And they're all just painted, it's a bit of a darker silver. I thought about just lines on it by just drawing, but like with a Sharpie or whatever, but it seems a little bit tedious, and I don't really feel I need to. I might do it someday. I might, but I think it's pretty good. For articulation, his head is just on a ball peg, so he can move a little bit. Can't really look up, but he can look down. Shoulders can go out. Can't go all the way down without going behind the tentacle. You rotate, swivel, band at the elbow, wrist swivel. This one has a hinge, waist swivel. I took out the ab crunch, like I said, for the tentacle installation, but I kept the waist swivel. I thought that was important. The legs can kick forward, can go out, thigh swivel, knee joint, and the ankles have barely any movement. So the base figure isn't too articulated. So here's just a quick little pose. Obviously the tentacles do tend to make him back heavy when you're trying to do like, this dynamic type of pose, but it can work. So yeah. So here is the figure compared to a Spider-Man, and you can see, hopefully, he is shorter. Not by too much though. So that works out quite well. I think Spider-Man's supposed to be 5'10" in the comics. Doc Ock is 5'9", so that works out pretty well. And this is a custom, by the way. For another comparison, here he is compared to a custom Deadpool with the Winter Soldier Captain America body. You can see, so he is nice and short for the character. I think the body mold worked out quite well. I think that's pretty much it for this figure. The tentacles, if you want to make a custom Doc Ock, just, I think they're just like wires you can get at Home Depot. They're pretty flexible, and, you can get them to stand on all the tentacles with some work. And they're nice and cheap too. They're not too expensive. that's my video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you, I guess, next time I make a video.